run right now, Dennis?
Yes, I do.
Do you still got them on, Dennis?
Be nice, Chris.
Dennis, do you still got them on?
Yeah, I still have them on. I just have to have my hand on the volume control. The old tube radio network is about ready to fire up here.
You're mean, Chris.
Nah, I've known Dennis years.
Still mean.
Hey, my old bowling buddy.
Still mean. With it. Evening time, Tower of Power, 650.
Is that the menace out there?
Yeah, he chimed in there, now he won't talk. I haven't heard him out here.
Yeah, I don't think he's been out here. But you know who's out here are Stan, X4000, and the Jingle Singers.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by OTR. Brought to you by 27.085 megahertz. Brought to you by RADI. The Old Tube Radio Network.
At least we call it that, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios glowing in the dark. The shortwave listeners and all of you on a Saturday evening here in April of 2021. Our 36th year on the air, talking about checking in and pretty much doing the old tube radio thing, the CB radio thing, the way it was in the 1960s and the 1970s with your glow-in-the-dark radios to help out tonight. Hi, my name is Dennis, net control operator for this, what we call the Old Tube Radio Net here in Central California, 27085, the frequency, channel 11, beaconing on your universal media net web at oldtuberadio.com, and I even think there is a video going on somewhere out there with a live chat. We'll be checking with you. 23 Skidoo has the Echo link linked up tonight, so we'll get you the node for that in a little bit for those who want to check in that way or get on the Echo Link chat. And of course, the tube radios, starting with the shortwave listeners tonight. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that we have lost one of our shortwave listeners who's been listening for a long time, out there for a long time. A great operator, Dave 544, Fresno Dave. You remember him maybe back when he was in Monterey and would drive into Fresno and give us a check-in. And we wouldn't hear from him for a while. And then he moved back to Fresno, down South Fresno, Easton Way, not too long ago. And it was a treat to get him to hear him check in every week. And he passed away last week. And we will be missing Dave, a fine operator. Never had anything bad to say about anybody. Always a very fine operator. Checked in pretty much every single week, even on the sideband net. So, as they say, a silent key, 73, Dave. Thanks for your participation in the Old Tube Radio Net, and we will definitely be missing you on the air. He'll be listening in with a lot of our. In the 35 years, we have had a lot of our listeners and operators go into the silent key mode, but we know that they enjoyed their radios and we enjoyed listening to them. So we'll keep producing this entity called the Old Tube Radio Network to make sure that the beacon that is from the Central Valley does what it is supposed to do. We start with the shortwave listener roll call, and then after that, the classic tube radios from the late 1950s, the 1960s, 1970s, and who knows when. They might be new to you. They might be the radio that you started out with in high school. It might be something that was passed along to you from a relative or family member, but if you have time tonight to fire it up, we will definitely want to be hearing that. Starting off, as we always do, with our 00 check-in. Let me bring the 00 up, and we are looking for SWL 10. I'm going to check the list here. That's Chrissy and Dwayne up in Idaho. I know Dwayne was out there earlier, and Chrissy's right there on the list. So I see you. Thanks. I know you were busy last week listening in from afar, but you are up at the radio, and I will put the 00 check in, and we will get you as SWL 10. Thanks, Chrissy. Over we go to SWL number 1. Checking in the virtual mode, as we have a lot of our virtual SWLs and operators checking in. SWL number 2, Mr. OBP. And I'm looking to see if he's on the video tonight. And there he is. SWL2 is here. Hello, Kevin. I hope all is going well. And I'm checking the meter. Yes, you are 9 pounds. Good modulation here at Chestnut and Herndon. We've got a proxy check-in for SWL3. I've got my new list here that I printed up. I want to make sure I get everybody in there. SWL4. Shortwave listener 5. SWL6. SWL7. Ken checked in as 00, and Chrissy is there tonight. I did not, I'll have to fess up, I did not do the recipe this week. I think I overdid it the previous week. Must have made it about 3 or 4 times on the tater tots, but I think it's looking good for next week probably on that. Over to shortwave listener 13. I'll make sure I update on my items of interest here. SWL 14. SWL 16. Charlie in Anoka, Minnesota is out there tonight. Where are you, Charlie? There he is. As always, near the front row, making sure everybody is getting a good place to sit, and they know where the green room is tonight. We will be checking in with Bob and Steve and see what is happening out there tonight. Over to SWL 17. SWL 18. And from Derby, New York, by way of Belfast, Maine, holding the cue cards up for me tonight, is Chet. Thank you for checking in, listening in tonight. And he says, read the card. All right. Read the cards. You hold them up, I'll read them. It's currently 48 degrees. That is where he's at in Derby, New York, looking 10-8. The temperature is expected to drop down to 34 degrees tonight. Nevertheless, the grass is growing greener, and the leaves are getting bigger on the trees and the bushes in the yard. And a little ad-lib here, probably the weeds are getting bigger as well as they are here in Fresno. The radio room is warm and comfy thanks to the glow of the tubes of his vintage Lafayette HE20C, a great radio. I like the design on the HE20C, currently using the stock original microphonium switched antennas to the vintage super penetrator from High Gain. That's what I need. I was thinking about maybe upgrading to an SPT 500, which is not, I don't know how much it takes off the vintage super penetrator, but I've been told that's a great antenna, and indeed it is. All right, Chet, thanks for the update. And thanks for my practice on reading the cue cards tonight. Let's go over to SWL 20.
Hey, number 20 here. Please check me in, 29 and 54. And I'll have this radio of interest later.
Okay, it is sounding good. In the interest of radio, when we get interested in the radios after the roll call. So that's what we do best. That's why we are here, to talk about and check in the glow-in-the-dark radios. Thanks, Harvey. Sounding good. Over to SWL 21. Mr. JT, who is hanging out, he's hiding out, actually. He's in the bunker. He's in the Wasama Swamp bunker tonight. He's got the antennas pulled down, the coax is out, the giant knife switch that controls everything is in the open position, and the ground rod has been retracted due to some severe thunderstorms going on tonight. The abbreviated old radio night tonight. But they're doing some skip. We've had some good sunspot numbers, and I know the band conditions have been open. So, JT, stay low, stay horizontal. He's making some popcorn. Maybe he's doing it by just holding it outside and letting the static electricity pop those kernels. Got you checked in. Over to SWL 22. And let's try let's see if I can bring up the right control here for Mr. 23 Skidoo, the Echo Link. Let me test the transmitter. I have to make sure everything is here. KB6GFD checking the Echo Link. Hello, Mitch, over. See if I got the right control up here tonight for Echo Link.
KA3TEB.
There it is.
Checking in from the recording studio tonight, where the Espresso Trucking Company is busy at work on a new track. I kind of made a mistake, though. I stocked the break room with some aged cheddar cheese, and unfortunately the guys are now in there cutting the cheese, so that's a long story. Anyhow, back to you, and have a great show. 23 Skidoo, we're out of here.
All right, thanks for checking. And that's one of those that you need to say, and making the long story short, for sure. Well, I think everything will be probably cleared out by the time we start checking in the tube radios and celebrate all things good. But there is the door out by the limousine, so if you need to get some more cheese, that'd probably be a good way to do it. Thanks for the link up tonight. I see a couple of stations. Gary's on, Ron is in, Tony is in. We'll be coming back to the Echo Link here in a little bit to chat with the people who we normally can't hear due to conditions. Thanks for your check-in. AB6GFD. On the Echo Link tonight, and where is the? I've lost my node number. I will get it for those who want to get into the old tube radio Echo Link tonight. Look for the old tube radio conference on the Echo Link link, and I'll get a node for you. Let's go over to SWL 24. SWL 25. Hello, radio. Good to have you in the radio room tonight, and I hope all is going well out that way. Over.
Everything's great, Dennis, and good to hear you, and carry on, and thanks for your 35 years plus of service. Back to you.
Yeah, me and a bunch of us doing all of this, and of course, all the tube radio operators, anybody else who's in this 36 years has happened to stop by and enjoy the glow-in-the-dark radios. Heading over to... What did I do to my list here? Oh, I know. Everything's on a separate page tonight. Who printed this? Normally, I just turn the page over. Everything's separate. Maybe that's a better way to do it. I just don't know how to do these things. But we're looking for SWL 27. And over to SWL 28. That's Gary out of Sacramento. Check the thing. There he is, right there. And there's the node too. Thanks, Mitch. Gary tonight says, "Hello, everyone. 28's checking in, waiting for the greatest show on earth." I am too. Where is this greatest show on earth they talk about? With Bozo Control is here, honking the proboscis off microphonium, but creating enough havoc. Oh, he's saying this, that he's the one that put the pages all separate. I guess we got a good deal. We got a good deal on paper. So we're going to waste it all. Anyway, Gary, you're looking good. Bozo Control is here, and send in the clowns. Thanks for checking in. I've got a proxy check-in for Mr. Loner, SWL 29, and over we go to SWL 30. Mr. Dwayne, And the gang up in Idaho, not sure. Rumor has it that Dwayne may have some, what do they say, 10-8 radios on the way. With some more 10-8 radios to add into the collection, the RFI collection over there. We've got you checked in, Dwayne. Over to SWL 31. Let me say hello to our listeners over at oldtuberadio.net up in the balcony tonight. Looks like Leawood, Kansas. In Kansas, where what? It's 70 degrees one day and the next day it's snowing. We're going to get some rain tomorrow, but we don't have that wacky Kansas weather. You got to love it. Hello to station Los Angeles, Dallas, Georgia, Tempe, Arizona. That's probably Gary over on listening in on Echolink tonight. Auberry, California. Blackpool is in. Hello to West Islip, New York, up in the balcony. The unknown SW. We got a couple of unknown SWLs tonight. They're doing a tag team. See the shortwave listener with the bag over their head. That's the unknown SWL. Blanchester, Ohio, Bridgeport, West Virginia. Hello to Woodland Park, Colorado. Boy, we were hearing Australia last night on the Ditch Banks net. Maybe we will have some short skip tonight, making it into Colorado, Woodland Park and Colorado Springs. Anoka, Minnesota, of course. Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Good to have you in and up in the front row here. Belfast, Anoka, Derby, New York, I should say, and Canby, Oregon. Thanks for your help, Bill, helping us get set up here this afternoon. And Hermosa Beach, all listening in at the oldtuberadio.net. Looking for SWL 32. Checking in 33, myself, the gang here. SWL 34, Jimmy Railroader, Little Toot, the gang out that way. And I'll scroll up on the video page, making sure I'm not missing everybody. Or anybody, I should say. SWL 35, I did see Mr. Bill saying hello from Cheyenne tonight. Hello, Bill, good to have you aboard. Mr. Bill in Red Monkey Communications. Responsible for a lot of the stations that you hear checking in tonight, no doubt. SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37, good evening time, Dennis.
And hello, radio. You've got it cranked up. Fine business tonight. Sounding good.
Thank you, and you're always sounding good, though.
Well, I try. I'm getting that wacky stuff going on tonight. Let's try SWL 38. Shortwave listener 39. SWL 40. And DD21, is the Ditch Banks net still on YouTube on Friday nights? Well, it's on the air, 36 lower sideband, but the video extension has been, we'll say, temporarily interrupted due to having move some of the equipment around and not having available internet access. So I don't know. I'll have to see. I might be able to link up. I won't have a YouTube per se, but I might be able to link up the audio on Friday evenings on this channel on OTR, the .net stream. We'll see what we can do. But for now, it is basically over the air on 8 p.m. Friday evenings. Over to SWL 41. It's Road Dog 507. I'll scroll on, make sure I haven't missed anybody. SWL 42. SWL, I'm checking the headphones. SWL 43. SWL 44. Shortwave listener 45. SWL 45. Paul?
Oh, can you hear me down there, Dennis? 45. It's rough up there.
I'm hearing you just fine. I know we've been having some late night skip coming in and some other things, but you're doing a good job here down in Midtown. Over.
Yeah, your sound is good. I can get you up there, but it's pretty close to cover every once in a while. I'll stay with it as long as I can. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for tuning us in tonight here on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge in Northwest Fresno. This is SWL 47.
Looking good in the Radio Lounge where the breeze has come up. Possibility of rain coming up. But right now, it's still good. And you're sounding good. Got you checked in, Mike.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Over to SWL 48. Short listener 49. I'm going to get a proxy check in for Spitty and Sweet Country Mama. He was in on the Ditch Banks net last night, sounding good. SWL 50.
Live and direct from downtown O'Neill.
Wow, I must have shown up in the program guide tonight. Must have showed up in the program guide so you could actually think, oh, yeah, it's 8 o'clock. Good to hear you, and we've got you checked in. Monkey's uncle up there in O'Neill's. Let's see. Let's go to SWL 51.
SWL 51, checking in.
And hopefully you can hear me, Dave. You're sounding good here into net control tonight. We got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
And SWL, just in time. SWL 52. He says just in time. He found the golden mouse button. Mr. USY. Hello, Aaron. I see you, and you are checked in. He takes a deep breath and back to what you were doing. Thanks. A little sprinting to the computer never hurts to get checked in. Over to SWL 53.
Go ahead and proxy 53 in.
All right, Mr. Belair, I'm not sure if I heard him before the net tonight, but we'll definitely get him checked in. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was out there. I guess he had something to do.
Something to do. This is one of those things to do, but there are a lot of things to do on a Saturday. So we appreciate our stations that actually do take time out from what they're doing to say hello. Speaking of saying hello, let me say hello to stations tuning in, watching the live feed here tonight. North Charleston, says it's thundering out that way. Just now in South Carolina. Out there, some nasty weather coming in. Hello to Wayne in Allen, Virginia, watching in tonight. Who else? Paul V is listening in. Going through, see who else is jumping in the chair tonight. Looks pretty good. We'll catch you as you come through. Hello to Phil, who was in earlier. Old-timey radio. We are on our version of old-timey radio. Thanks to our radio stations out here tonight. Will be coming up shortly, and a host of others. I see 81. Tony's in. We'll chat with Tony up on the Echo link at node 354870. If you've got Echo Link, look for node 354870, the Old Tube Radio Network on the 23 Skidoo Echo link. Go into page 3. We've got a virtual check-in for SWL 54. looking for SWL 55. Over to SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
Sounded good, Phil. And I noticed my APRS page says it's loading, but it never loads. So I'll probably have to give it a whirl. See what's going on in the land of APRS tonight. Over to SWL 57. I'm looking for the right screen here on the video. I gotta make sure I'm scrolled down here tonight. There's SWL 40. Got you checked in 40. Hope all is well out in that neck of the woods. And hope you are doing okay. Hope you are recovering from your items of interest there. Let's try SWL 57 again. SWL 58.
Oh, go ahead and proxy him in. He was here today, but didn't make it back.
Okay, I know how he is. He likes to check in from his favorite radios. He likes to be in his air chair, but we'll give him an X in the square.
Yeah, all right, thanks.
Who else is in tonight? Out in New York, staying up really late. It's Sunday morning there for sure. Smarty Jones on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Let's try SWL 59. It's Tyler out of Alaska. We should be having some conditions for Alaska coming up. Let's try closer to home, SWL 60.
It's about as close as you can get there, Dennis. I want to say evening time to you and to all the fellows out there on the band. 60, checking in on my Connex Saturn CX33 sideband.
Wow, that's one of the rare oldies but goodies. That would be a good check-in for JT's net, DD21 over there on Old Radio Night. I think they would definitely be talking about that one. Sounding good here, and we got you checked in.
Thank you, and I got a question.
All right, this is the question frequency. We will see if we can find an answer over.
Good. We'll get through this real quick here. Your whereabouts or your cross streets, a tent maker wants to know what number he is and where are you located so he can point his beam.
Let's see. If he points his beam towards like Manchester Center, Fashion Fair, right in between those two, you will probably be right on me.
Okay, and his number, if he has one?
I am looking. I just redid the list, and usually when I do that, I leave things off. But I am looking that I believe he is SWL 99, over.
Okay, we'll tell him that. Thanks, Dennis.
All right. It's always nice to have a beam to point. Bozo Control right now is rotating the Starduster. No, he's turning it horizontal. You rotate it this way, not the other way. Put it horizontal, nobody's going to be able to hear me. Let's try SWL 61.
61, check it in, Dennis.
All right. Dean had his hand on that microphone trigger for the last 3 minutes, and I finally got around to it. Thanks, Dean.
Thank you, sir.
SWL 62. I agree, Mitch. Mitch says we had a backward ping on that last radio. It was. The ping was at the end on that Connex. Maybe they did that. Maybe they did that just to spite the Eagles. Put the ping at the end of the transmission. Let's go over to SWL 63. Butterbean out of North Georgia. I'm getting Butterbean checked in. He was on Old Radio Night tonight. Let's go over to SWL 34. That's Jimmy Railroader. And Little Toot checking in. Oh, I forgot. There is one of those train whistles. We have it at the radio station, and I forgot to pick it up today. It's made out of wood, and you really have to blow into the thing, but you get the toot. It's not quite, the pitch is a little bit high, but it would work. So, Jimmy, I will endeavor to see if I can get the train whistle out of the radio station next time, and we will appropriately give it some wind. I can give it some air and make it do its thing when we check you in next week, hopefully. Well, that's interesting. This computer here has decided that it wants to recalibrate. I'm glad it was that one and not the one I'm currently working on. I'm not sure why it did that. Let's go over to SWL 64. SWL 65.
SWL 65, checking in.
Eric, you are sounding good into the radio tonight. We've got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. You have a good evening.
And likewise. Speaking of radio, speaking of FM radio, guys, let's say a shout out to one of the best, Crazy Bob DJ, who is checking in with us tonight, tuning into the Old Tube Radio Network. And even though I may not have said it often enough, the show open to the Bob and Steve show, courtesy of Crazy Bob and the studios out that way. We'll be playing that in just a little bit. Let's go over to SWL 66.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Can I get a late check-in, please, Dennis, for 55?
Yes, I am just right around the corner from you here on the page. So 55 has got the X in the square, over.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, thanks for checking in. That's M&M up on the hill. We called 66. Let me call 66 again. And 67, Bill was in early today. He let the guys open the gates. I'm checking what's going on down the green room. He opened the gates for the limos. The limos are out tonight, ready to go. In fact, they are doing something right now. We'll find out what's up with the limos. But and then, I don't know how he does it. And then he races back to Canby, Oregon, so that he can check in. You must have one of those rocket things that you do. Anyway, thanks, Bill, for your extra help. Over to SWL 68. SWL 69. And that's Kenny out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He will be tuning in at some point. Kenny, hello. Anybody out there want to say hello to Kenny when he checks in here on the video? Over.
Kenny, we're right here. This is Hustler, 603. Appreciate it. Miss you.
Hey there, Kenny. 112 Rickshaw saying hi. Good evening time, Kenny. 650 said it. Dennis, check me in early, please.
All right, sounding good. 650 at the microphonium. Kenny, we do miss you. He usually leaves a comment on our comments page on the video side. We will be getting some skip. I no doubt it may be a couple of years, but we'll get some of that evening skip. And he's in a spot where I think it'll work quite nicely. Jimmy, yeah, it's a wood whistle. It's only about, 6-7 inches long, and it's got a little train in it, and you really have to blow into the front of that thing to get the toot coming out of it. But it works. I said, and it was just sitting there. I went in the studio the other day and said, there's a train whistle here. I've been looking for a train whistle. I don't know where it came from. Somebody, I think Rich said it fell out of a box. So I don't know. Maybe somebody used it for a show long ago. I have no idea. Let's go to SWL 70. Over to SWL 71. And I did not refresh my page because typically Stan makes sure that he gets close to the top of the page so that I see his musings from Dallas, GA. Stan, I'm going to check you in. Hello to, who's that? Lake Elsinore. Who's Lake Elsinore? Is that Super Loop? No, Lake Elsinore is probably Rich checking in here tonight. And there's Stan. The page just refreshed, just right at the top, just like I thought. That's how, see, Stan is good at that. That's why he gets so many contacts in a contest. He knows how to sneak in right in that little sweet spot to get noticed. All right, 71 is in. What was it today? It was Foreland, but it was a Florida QSO party. I heard them earlier. So maybe, and they were sounding pretty good, so I might try some Florida QSO party tomorrow out there. Let's see, where are we going? Oh, Johnny Define is on. I'm looking. I think things like I hear the Johnny Defiant filter leaking in, but let's say hello to, a good evening to Johnny Defiant. And if you're listening over the air, you're going to have to go to the YouTube video page to hear what happens when we turn on the Johnny Defiant filter here on the old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 72. SWL 73.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
SWL 17, can I sneak a check in so I can get back here later?
You can do that. In fact, you have done that. 17 is checked in. That is the most awesome Eagle ping that I have heard in a long time, and you are checked in over.
It's a little different tonight. I'm not sure why. I'm not even going to ask.
Well, seeing as how you used to have the Martian version of the Q-Bird on the general radio telephone, you have the Martian version of the Eagle ping, too. All right, Mr. Carolina Kid there checking in on the Eagle. We'll be hearing more from that station shortly. Over to SWL 74. That's Miss Jilly. Got a check in for her earlier. SWL 75. Mitch says the ping sounds like an elephant. It does. Who should do that? Tim Conway. Sounds like the Tim Conway elephant. SWL 75. SWL 77. Shortwave listener 78. Wildemar. Let me refresh the page again. I was thinking that Wildemar might have been out there. You never know. Let's try SWL 79. Quickie, go over.
Yeah, 77, did he proxy, did somebody proxy him in, or did he check in?
He did not check in. I know he said he was working, triple-digit hours, so we'll call that a proxy until he shows up for the big X over.
Appreciate it.
Then over to SWL 80. Hey, there's Richard. All right. Richard, I know. Pick me. So it was you. See, I'm getting good at this after 35 years. SWL 78. If I had the HF radio up, is it in the mix tonight? Where's the HF radio? If I had the HF radio up, that's 20 meters. Was coming in great with the Florida QSO party earlier. WWV is great. There's 40 meters.
And I'll be clear with N7TPR.
Man, 40 meters is still booming in. 7216, and let's check out 75. I don't have the antenna right for 75, but a little weak. 40 is still looking good. Anyway, Richard, turn it down there. We do have you checked in. Heading over to page 4. Before I do, let me see, let me check out the Echo link before we head over. Let's see if I press that. Yeah, KB6GFT. Checking out the Echo link. I say KRZ is in. Hello, Gary. Are you monitoring the Echo link? Dr. Reverend, hello, K7 KRZ from Old Tube Radio Network, over. See if Gary is beaconing in tonight. I see him on the list. He may have stepped away.
Yeah, I think I'm still here. I'm not positive on it, but I think I am. I don't know, it all fell out on me a few minutes ago. Must have had a big glitch over there at Verizon. Couldn't get anything going here for a little while. Anyway, good evening, all you folks out there on OTR. Good to hear you all this evening. I've been trying to listen as much as I can. Not able to listen to everything. Like I said, I had that fall out there for some reason. And then I realized I was somewhat on a delay here. So I have to cut the audio on OTR in order to get the and not have the audio on my phone at the same time as I'm using the phone. Kind of a strange thing. I thought it would just cut out, but it did not. The other day I couldn't even do it at all. So who knows? Sorry to hear about my friend Dave. Glad you mentioned that at the top there. I really appreciate that. Everybody take care. I'm going to cut it kind of short here. And Dennis, thanks for everything. OTR, thanks for everything. Talk to you shortly.
All right, thanks, Gary. Gary can actually, when the conditions are right, check in over the air from Arizona. Was a major force, a major station here in the Central Valley for a long, long time. So good to hear him back on Skipland and here on the 23 Skidoo Echo link. Thanks, Gary, for picking it up right on cue, and hopefully the internet gods will be kind to you. Thanks for checking in with us tonight. AB6GFP 73. All right, the voice of, as we know him, Reverend Dr. Cherokee out there in Arizona tonight via the Echo link. And let's see, what is next? Oh, it is time to check in with Bob and Steve, the Bob and Steve Show.
27.085 OTR, Channel 11.
Channel 11, 27085. Let's see what is going on tonight for those of you who will be checking in and visiting us into the green room. I'm looking for the script here. I always read it without, as we say in the business, read it cold. That way I'm always surprised. Here we go. In the balcony tonight on the Bob and Steve Show is free extra buttered popcorn and caramel corn with peanuts. I noticed Popcorn 913. Is he in tonight? He's probably up there enjoying the thing. So lots of popcorn tonight. And I have my little popcorn picker-upper ready to go. The Jingle Singers had to go to Costco's for a 50-foot cord for the shop vac to claim the big red limo all the way to the back seat. 50 feet is just enough. It is out. I saw it back through the window. It will be back for those wanting some limousine rides. It can take you, the family, the dog, the cat, and maybe that neighbor you don't like on the red limo tonight. Starting a checker and chessboard game tournament in the green room tonight. Or no, I'm sorry, on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. will be the checker and chess tournament. Sign up on the bulletin board near the elevator. And the winner will get a night out on the town in the big red limo. You will definitely be noticed on the big red limo. It's one of the driver is great. They has to know when the light is green just at the right time so that the back end of the limo makes it through the intersection before things turn red. That's how big it is. Let's see. Plus, a ride in the limo plus dinner at Yosemite Ranch. Yosemite Ranch is a great place here on Friday nights. At the bar tonight, from the state of Mississippi, breaded deep-fried frog legs. Say that fast 3 times. And catfish. Boy, you've got to be a fan of that one. Corn on the cob, I'll have that. Baked potato, I'll have that. And salad, no dressing, please, I'll have that. Thanks for all you do. To our tube radio operators and the shortwave listeners, they mentioned have a great week. And everybody, don't forget to feed the fish. Bob and Steve, thanks. Page 4, let's get this started, and we'll have tube radios coming up shortly. SWL 81. Steve Areno, who is out there listening tonight, he was in earlier. Looking good, Steve. In fact, I drove by the old QTH, not far off of Adeline today, going somewhere, and I thought of you and all the good times we had when they had the big street fair, and get out there and the yard sales and looking through all the great radios and items of interest. So hope you are doing well. I know you left me a note here somewhere, so when I find it, I will check it out. Thanks for jumping in tonight. SWL 82.
82, checking in from the Ditch Banks of Iowa. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you, Ron. Ditch banks are sounding good tonight. We'll quickly reiterate on Friday evenings. And we had, the skip was rolling pretty good last night, wasn't it? Ron was talking to, Australia. I could barely hear the guys, and he was just like 10-8 all evening on Australia over the Ditch Banks net.
Yeah, that was something. Yeah, I guess we're going to have this here. That's what you got to look forward to here in the near future, I hope.
Well, we'll see. For local check-ins, 8 o'clock Friday nights, 8 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, 36 lower, 27,365, and then after the net open to everyone. And we did, like I said, he did a good job of talking to Australia, New Zealand, or whatever was happening last night at just about this time, actually. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for checking in.
All right, Dennis, and thanks for the plug. Have a good night.
All right, Ron he's getting the hang of this net control thing. He's realizing that you just don't run and sit in the chair and hope it goes well. There's a lot to it, and he does a great job. SWL 83, Epimesius 83 from Colorado, who is back in the air chair, might be relaxing. I hope you're in the Lazy Boy tonight. Hope you're in the Lazy Boy air chair and taking it easy, but listening in tonight. I'm glad to have you back. All right, 83 is checking. I feel a nice breeze coming in through the window. The temperature's going to drop here tonight. We may have some rain tomorrow. Let's go to SWL 84. And we will get 84 and the whole crew checked in. If you're listening, Jerry, I hope you're doing well. Over to SWL 85. SWL 86, SWL 87, and SWL 88, the mountain-made Snowy Owl, or rather, the mountain-made Candy Girl and the Snowy Owl, respectively, checked in. SWL 89, SWL 90, and let me see, SWL 91. I'm checking the Echo link because Felix has those capabilities. In fact, we talked to him a couple of weeks ago, but he is right there on the video side tonight out of, where are you? Just somewhere in the Bronx, right? Somewhere out of New York. Staying up super late. I know, what is it? It starts like 11. This net starts 11 o'clock. So I always just feel really, really great that people will actually stay up late. Stay up late to grab those tube radios. Felix, you are looking good tonight. And he says hello to all the SWLs and the tube radio operators from his QTH. Over to SWL 92. SWL 93.
Dennis, let's give Louis a check, proxy.
Proxy for Louis, thank you. SWL 95, Warthog 95, right there. From the Whiskey Romeo 4 Bravo, checking in from Orlando, Florida. Oh, where the contest, the Florida QSO contest is going on. Florida was sounding, in fact, let me grab, is it still there? Let me grab 40 meters. See if it's still in there tonight. I think, see, the band is just starting to drop out.
Your local number portability gives you the option to carry your number wherever you want to go. So, yeah, to your point.
Yeah. Just listening to see.
There's our charter members.
Okay, nets are going on, so yeah, I think the fours have dropped out, but boy, in 20 meters, sounded great. So I'm going to try some Florida QSO contest tomorrow, I think. So thanks for checking in. 95. And then over to SWL 96, Dennis, Mr. Prune Picker. I heard you. You got checked in last night on the net. Your operator that checked you and did a great job. So you are here live and direct tonight, and we will get you checked in, Dennis. Thanks for hanging out here from Kermantown, the old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 97, Boston 97. And there's Dennis up on my screen from... Oh, okay. You are... No wonder. You are far away. That's right. In fact, the station that checked you in last night mentioned that you were away from the coiled cord microphonium. So I got you checked in on this one. And I see you up the top of my screen. And don't worry, Dennis, you did get checked in last night on the Ditch Banks net. Like I said, your operator did a fine job. SWL 97. And over to Tent Maker, SWL 99.
Dennis, I'll check in Tent Maker. Just get a proxy for him. He is having trouble with the beam and in locating you, but he has a high static level.
Oh, wow, okay, because I can always hear him, no problem. Always hear him, no problem. So, yeah, it points it between Manchester Center and Fashion Fair. He's going to be right. He's going to be right on me. All right, thanks for the check-in. Over to let me try a link up to the Echo link. The link to the link. I always got to remember. What control to bring up on Echo Link tonight, and we'll see if I can get SWL 100, and that is Tony out of South Carolina. KB6 GFD, hello, Tony, are you listening? Over.
Good evening, Dennis. This is Tony, and thanks for having me on, KD4 BAO.
Okay, it's easy. It's just one finger to do this. I'm trying to do too much, and I hear you just fine. How is the weather? Are you in the big weather, the big storm thing that is happening out that way? Over.
Yeah, we've had the windows rattling here tonight from the thunder and that, so had to rush and pull the coax out of the radio, and it's still raining pretty good.
Okay, and what part of, it's South Carolina, right? What part of South Carolina are you in? Over.
I'm about 30 miles north of Charleston, South Carolina, right on the coast, Dennis.
All right, things are happening. I know our South Carolina stations, JT had to pull the radio early tonight, and that sounds like the best way is to totally disconnect. I know it's a good thing to have lightning protection and all the grounding, but the safest thing is to make sure the coax isn't isn't connected. Thanks, Tony, for chatting with us. You're sounding good. Stay safe out there and that way, and we will look for you next week. And hopefully I can catch you on the air sometime in Foreland. Back to you.
Thanks for having us on, Dennis. KD4BAF.
73, KB6GFD. That is SWL 100 Tony out there in South Carolina, where they are definitely having some weather items. Sounds like everybody's staying safe and staying smart by keeping the radios disconnected. Let's go over to SWL 103. SWL 109. And I'm hearing a skip coming. SWL 110. Where's the gray line? It's gray line somewhere, isn't it? SWL 111. I'm going to give Robert a check, and I think I heard him earlier, but he's got the high noise level as usual. SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Hello, Wayne. Sounding good last night on the sideband, and as always, sounding good on AM as well. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you for the check-in.
And let me refresh my other page. By the way, the Echolink link is node 354870, and I missed Richard's is there. We'll have to talk to Richard in a little bit. I don't know if he was there when he did the check-in. Let's try SWL 128. And, I don't know what's happening up in Fairfax, Virginia. They may be having some storming things up there, so I'm going to get John checked in. He may have everything disconnected. Sometimes it's safe to do that. And I see the Squamish boys. Hello, Albert and the gang. So sorry we were late. Had a flat on the Batmobile. So we drove the Oldsmobile. The Oldsmobile. Burger and hot dogs tonight with all the fixing. The Squamish boys waving from the balcony tonight. And there's popcorn up there, too. Well, you can't go wrong. You can be anywhere in the building here tonight. Green room, up in the balcony, and have some good stuff. And I'll guarantee you the Squamish boys are not driving your father's Oldsmobile. That's for sure. Thanks, guys. Over to SWL 131. SWL 133.
Dennis, 133, checking in.
All right, we're lucky here, Dave, in Central California. We don't often have those big lightning storms, those thunderstorms like they get in South Carolina, so we can keep our antennas connected most of the time. Thanks for checking in. SWL 135.
There. Is it working? SWL 135 checking in.
Yeah, it's got big audio. You had to look for the wiggle meter. I know how it works. I got you checked in, and we will be talking with it radio more in moments. SWL 137. Shortwave listener 145.
Well, good evening, Dennis and the group. This is Tony, SWL 145. Yeah, I had a great time last night listening to Ron make contacts with those Australian stations. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and I got something in the mail today from the Last Man Standing special event. I have some results here if you'd like to hear them. I'd be willing to share.
Yeah, let's do that. The Last Man Standing was, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, a contest on the air. I didn't contact them, but I heard them. They had a great signal here. They had a great signal all over for those of you who are familiar with the television show Last Man Standing that incorporated amateur radio in with the show. I guess the show is doing its final run, so over to you to tell us what was going on.
Okay, it had more than 88,000 QSOs, 50 states, 139 counties, oh, I'm sorry, that was 139 countries, and 1,862 counties. Okay, Dennis, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I know it was popular. Whenever they were on, it was definitely a big pileup. But they did a good job of conducting all of that and getting as many people on the air as they possibly could. I tried to listen in Friday morning, and I couldn't get the Echo link to come up out of I guess it was a Course Gold, whatever that one repeater was that's up on the Echo link, which I got 2 weeks ago, but didn't hear you on Friday. But I'll look for you guys again on that Early Risers Net. Thanks for checking in. Tony up there in Course Gold. Sounding good. Thanks for the information. Let's go to SWL 147. Neil is up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Not sure the weather going on there. Neil says, Kakalaki checking in. Lively conditions on Tuesday and Wednesday. Conditions have been good. We've been having some decent sunspot cycle numbers. The A and K index have been cooperating for the most part. Says it rained most of the day today, but clearing out. 73 from Neil. Thanks, Neil, for the update. Let's go over to SWL 188, Snow Beast Jr.
Even time, Dennis. Even time to all the SWLs. Hope everybody's having a great weekend thus far. 188 checking in.
Sounded super good into net control tonight. Thanks for your check-in on OTR.
10-4, thank you.
Station.
Station, go. Over.
Late check-in, number 79.
Number 79, I can do that on page 3. Thank you, Philip. Over.
Question.
Let's see, question frequency, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know we're doing a roll call right now. Can I ask for some clarification? Was that radio event that you just mentioned a couple of gentlemen ago, was that radio event actually affiliated with the TV show Last Man Standing?
Yes, indeed. Probably if you do some searching, you will get more information. There was a couple of calls, and there was a special event station that had all sorts of photos of them in the studio, I guess, with the radio. So it was some of the people were actually associated. I don't know if they were, I'll say, players, actors, and or technical people associated with the show running the special event station.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Okay, well, this is one of those gems that you just don't hear about unless you're listening to 27085 on a Saturday night. I absolutely adore that TV show. It is, or at least it was. It's just a phenomenal, great entertainment that I enjoyed over here. And I definitely love the times that they used ham radio. You can go on YouTube and see some funny clips about Tim Allen hiding down in the basement. I think it may have been during Thanksgiving, searching for some contacts. It's funny. I won't say anything more. You got to go look it up. But that's great. I'm super sorry that I missed that, and I'm going to miss that show. But I'm glad someone brought that up. That's awesome.
Yeah, I heard. Like I said, I didn't try contacting. I think Robert 111 has made multiple contacts. And then as you heard, Tony was talking about how many counties and countries and stations. So it was big, and it was popular. All right, let me head over to the really patient guy, SWL 195. I hope you're staying up with us tonight late, Jim. Over.
Yeah, 195.
All right, and he is there. And sounding good tonight up in Course Gold, where it's probably getting a bit chilly, no doubt. In fact, it's so chilly, the microphone is not happy, I can tell. But we did get you checked in. Over. know. It sounds like a wires crossed. It's keying the radio. It's getting audio, but it's more. I guess it's more squeal than audio. That good kind of audio. But we got you checked in. And if you want to do a test anytime during the net, just break on in and we'll let you know.
Okay, Dennis. I'm going to be out of town next week. Could you check me in then?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to draw a little arrow with an X. See, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to check you in a week early for all the times that, like tonight, that you've had to wait a week to get checked in. So it all balances out. All right, 73. And over to SWL 226. And we'll get Jeff checked in. He sounded really good last night. I heard him quite well coming out of Mariposa on the sideband side. Anybody else needing to get checked in before we... I'm late. I'm running really late. Before we need to switch over to the tube radios, OTR listening. Okay, back in a moment, setting up for the tube radios. I know we've got a couple because I heard them check in previously. I won't forget the pen, our sponsor tonight. Be right back. Your old tube radio network doing what we do best, and that'll be checking in the old-time radios. Back in a moment. And the channel's getting a little bit noisy. Sounds like the skip might be rolling in. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Ah, yes, and they are applauding because it is that time when the tube radios make their appearance, when the channel becomes that of the channel of 1960s and 1970s, the good old days of citizen band radio, where everyone was happy all the time, right? And nothing ever went wrong, and there was never any hate and discontent, and all the radios sounded great, which they will tonight. regardless of where they might be. The old Tube Radio Network on the Tube Radio side. If you're watching the video, this is the REA modulation monitor meter that is connected to the antenna port coming out of the transmitter here. Trying to get, I guess, as close to some asymmetrical 125% modulation without too much negative sideband peak, or negative baseband, I should say, audio peaking or clipping, to see what we can do. But the main thing tonight is not how my audio sounds, but of course those of the Tube radios. And we will be listening now for your radio check-ins, OTR.
37.
Up. 135.
All right, I've got, I got to get my notes here without keying up the radio. The cover that holds this book together is so old it is falling apart. I've got 37. I've got 135, and who was the other station?
145. 60.
All right, we've got 5. So I'll go in reverse order here. Radio 5 will be Joe, 60. Then we'll check in with Paul. Then we'll check in with Harvey. Then we'll check in with Mr. Green Arrow, and heading up into the air chair right now. Chris is coming. Or there he is, coming up the steps. SWL 37. Hello, Chris. Tell us what is going on in your radio room. Over.
Well, I'm sitting here, let's see, in front of my radio, and let's see, ooh, it is hot. Yeah, I could warm up a burrito up there right now, it'd be no problem. But yes, I am checking in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A. There's a 24 channel, and we are running this here with the handheld stock microphone. Over.
This is the warm-up, the burrito frequency. Sounding good as it always does. No amplification necessary on the antenna port of the radio. No amplification necessary on the microphonium port of the radio. The gang in beautiful downtown Burbank, all throughout the 1960s and the early 1970s when this radio was produced, really had it figured out quite well. Back to you for a transmission on the general radio telephone Super MC11A. Over.
Well, thank you. Wade, it's been a long time since I made number 1 up there, getting on that first one there, so I think I was overdue. So anyway, Dennis, thank you, and let the channel roll for sure. Get some more good sounding radios.
We will do. They're all good sounding radios. The general radio telephone, 2 transistors, probably for some 12-volt DC conversion. You can find out more about it on Sam's PhotoFax 22, page 45. It runs 9 tubes, including the ECLL 800 on the modulator output, and even has a 12AX7 on the mic preamp. Why it sounds so good, even with the generic stock microphonium. Thanks for checking that in.
You betcha, Dennis.
The old Tube Radio Network. We are heading over to Radio 2. Mr. Green Arrow, who has an extensive collection, and a lot of the radios, in fact, the one that we just showed tonight, the Super MC11, come from his collection. And not only that, they come from his photo collection, his photography, which is, what do they say, next to none? Does that sound right? Always sounds like next to none. What does that mean? But anyway, we are really glad that he is local to this area. Not only can we see the radios with the photography, but we get to hear them as well. And here comes one of them. Hello, Mr. Green Arrow.
Okay, is this going to work? Hello, yes, it is working. That's a good thing. Oh, and I'm a bit high in frequency, so I don't know if you have to tune me in. I'm showing 085.8, so it's a bit high in frequency. I hope it's still working. Anyway, okay, so what is it? Let's see, from Giannini Scientific and the Hammerland Manufacturing Corporation in Mars Hill, North Carolina. This is the Hammerland HQ205. It's a big, heavy radio.
I guessed correctly. When I heard you earlier, and I specifically didn't ask, it had that really good, Hammerlin has this really mellow sound to it. Got lots of low frequencies. It's a little lacking on the articulation, but it's got the really perfect low frequencies. So that if you ever add whatever microphone that has a little bit of high frequency punch, or you do an audio board, let me tell you, that radio is going to sound as good as 580 KMJ. I've got a picture up in the corner up here, and this, I believe, is the radio on which Cliff is talking. It's the Hammerlin 205, one in the series of their, what I'll call receivers that they somehow secreted in a 10/11 meter transmitter in to get into the Class D citizen radio service. Back to you. It sounds good. It is working, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But I like, again, the audio is mellow. It sounds good. It is waiting to attack.
Well, yes, and it's still working. Yay! Twice in a row. That's incredible. This is essentially just a great big Hammerlin receiver that they incorporated into it an AM transmitter for, like you said, 10 or 11 meters. With some modifications, you can turn this into a 10-meter AM. The microphone, incidentally, is as bright and articulate as we could hook up to it. This is a static D104 gray bass amplified type microphone. And I know it doesn't sound like it, but it's just the kind of audio I guess this radio puts out. It's got 6 channels, technically. That's with the external. You can plug in an extra transmit channel into the front, which is odd. Most of my radios where you have a plug-in crystal in the front, it's for receive. So you can plug in an extra transmit on this. Numerous strange things on this. One thing I want to bring up is, because it confused me earlier today, if you look at the picture, you'll see the sensitivity knob, which is just to the lower right of the main tuning. Now, you crank that clockwise, and that's your RF gain, right? It cranks up the sensitivity or the RF gain all the way up. The same knob is the squelch, which you then pull that knob out and then turn it counterclockwise in order to squelch things. Well, that had me all turned around today.
Wow. So does it, when you pull it out, does it keep the setting for the prior not pulled out position?
Interestingly enough, it does. And guess what? It doesn't work unless you have the AVC, which is an upper left-hand switch. You have to have the automatic volume control turned on, or else none of that stuff works.
Interesting. I was just reading about some of the old helicopters with like SX-99s that had they didn't have the sideband, like an upper and lower sideband. So you used an AVC or an AGC with the VFO, with the BFO, and then you had to use the RF gain control, because what happens is it overloads the front end to detect the audio. So it sounds like it's working similar to the same way. So if you wanted to listen to sideband, you'd have to go in there and probably lower your sensitivity and then turn on the AVC and then listen in, tune it on your band spread, and then reduce the input, your gain to product detect, if you will, the audio. So it sounds more like it doesn't sound as much like Donald Duck. So fun radio. This is a radio you definitely have to drive to get into it. It's a receiver with the transmitter in it. This is like none other. And I thought maybe we had a rear position with the crystals or the channel crystal sockets in there, but I don't see that. The
crystals for both transmit and receive. Oh, and I forgot to mention that. Yeah, you can use it either way. like right now, I'm tuning in on the VFO because it just sounds so much better. But I can switch to crystal receive as well. So for crystal controlled transmit and receive, all the crystals are in the back. There's an open window, door, hole in the back of the radio, and all the crystals are plugged into there. So that's fun to do. Another thing I forgot to mention is from all the research I was able to accomplish today, this thing was made probably in 1969, and I mean specifically like March through April of 1969. They didn't make them for very long. And also, as I'm sure you can tell from the picture, it has the world's smallest S-meter. When you think this big, heavy radio with all this room and all this stuff, you'd think they'd put a decent meter on the thing, but it's a tiny little meter like you'd find in a 1970s mobile CB.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't notice that because the HQ 105 is basically the 110 receiver. It's the same body, and they left everything alone with the clock. This is sort of pieces and parts, it looks like, that they built. And I did find the shot with the channel selector, which is an insert in the back. And so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of, looks like transmit and receive crystals. Looks like you even have a port for an antenna. I'm going to say a receive antenna, long wire type receive antenna. I see the SO239 type coax selector, maybe another thing for a speaker. So my guess is if you had a really good speaker on that, I guess you do need a speaker, huh? There is no speaker on the front. Let me go back, right? You do have to have a speaker with that. And you are not, you're not running the crystal controlled. You're just running whatever. If someone is running super high fidelity AM audio, you are going to hear that through the speaker.
Oh, yes. And I am using, which I guess is not pictured here with your picture of this radio, but I am using the Hammerlin speaker that's pictured with my 105. It's a Hammerlin speaker. It's square, but inside is a 6x9 full range type speaker, and yes, you and everybody else sounds just crazy good on it. It's a good combination.
Excellent. All right, take another transmission. I wanted to verify your transmit frequency. You sound great here at 27085, plenty of bandwidth, so I'll zero beat and see where we're at.
Wow, it's gone really high. 27085.8 or 5.9. It's flipping back and forth between 5.8 and 5.9. It was running a little lower in frequency earlier today when it was hot. It must be a temperature thing. Because, yeah, it's way up there. It was down around 4.7, 4.8. So where do you have me centered?
27085.8. Right there. When I went to sideband, it still has great audio. It's got good sideband audio, too. So that means it's definitely not undermodulated at all. Boy, I am just chomping the bit to hear that through an audio board with a little bit of like 2,500 hertz punched up. And you would be king of the hill for sure. The Hammerlin HQ 205, you aren't going to find many of these around for sale anywhere. And we are super lucky to have one that is working on the air and sounding as good as it is with a great picture. Radio number 2 tonight. We will go back. I could talk about this radio forever. One of our listeners, Paul 2008. He just says, fantastic. And I agree. Back to you for a transmission.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for letting me check it in. I may go ahead and do my Hammerlins in the coming weeks. Since we got this one going. Didn't have to do any surgery or anything, just a lot of, wiping out of the dust bunnies and dust kitties and other dust-related animals. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks so much. I know it's when you have multiple radios and things, it takes a while to get everything fired up, and then you have to make sure they're working and check the microphones. And I heard you testing earlier, so I appreciate all the extra work that our operators do to get the radios on the air, to share with everybody that makes the Old Tube Radio Network what it is. And the fact that we have been doing this for 36 years, thanks to our radio stations. Before we go to, who's at 20? I've got 20. Harvey. No, Wayne? Whatever. Harvey, are you next? All right, you're next. Go ahead and step up in the air chair. I had a couple of things that I wanted to do. I couldn't read my writing on this. Like, no, it says 20. What was I going to do? I wanted to say hello to Levon, who's tuned in. X4000 is out there listening in tonight. We still have some stations up on the Echo Link, which I'll get to. I want to make sure we get our radio stations checked in. And there was something else, but it can wait because we've got some super cool radios, including the one you have, Harvey, over.
Okay. Now, let's hope instead this is, cool as I hope. This is a Robin T123B. How's it sound?
It sounds good. I'm going to find the Robin T123B. I would say you are probably 60% modulated, but the fidelity is good. The quality sounds just like you, like I was, standing next to you, listening to you talk. So do not be a stranger to that microphonium. Over.
Okay. I had lowered the mic from when we talked last. So, I put it halfway between where it was and where it had been. Range boost off.
Okay. Range boost off. Quality is good. And I'm still seeing a little bit of movement on the S meter, meaning that you've got enough to tickle the audio there. Go on with your next test as we take a look at a picture of the Robin T123B for those who like green radios.
Okay. Yeah, I pulled this one out because it's going away up to another state. Okay, I'm going to turn the range boost on here in a second. This is range boost off, and then that's the range boost on. I think the switch makes a little bit of a noise.
Yeah, I thought you were breaking a piece of wood there. You know what? It's good. It brought it up. I put on the Orban meter, and it looks like it's coming up at least 2 notches on the loudness control. And I think the fidelity, from what I heard earlier, is actually good. Talk some more. Over.
Okay. The person that's getting it knows how to run it. It's going to use the same microphone, amplified D104, so that should be fine. Oh, why don't we try something here? How's that? That's a little, maybe a bit too much. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, interesting, because we tested this earlier before the net. What you've done with the range boost definitely sounds better. It comes up, it gets louder, the fidelity stays good, no fuzziness. I'm trying to think. When you did it before, it was the Harvey range boost without the radio range boost sounded really good. And it's sounding okay now. There's a little bit of growling or something going on, but try it again. So either way, it seems like it's better all the way around. Your adjustment was well done on the audio. So I'm thinking if you have a hotter microphone, it will work well without the range boost. But if you have just a standard microphone, you can work it with the range boost no problem without having any type of amplification. So give us another test with the Harvey range boost.
Okay. it's the Harvey range boost on. And I'm not yelling in the mic. I'm back about a foot and a quarter or a half. The person that's getting this also has a similar range boost item, so they'll have fun adjusting everything to their voice, and hopefully everything will work just fine.
Okay, now take another quick transmission without the Harvey range boost, but just the same way.
Okay, same way, about the same distance away from the microphone.
Still sounds good. Gets loud. The fidelity is good either way. I mean, if I was going to talk to you for hours, I would say leave it just like that. Doing good. So, yeah, you know what? My guess is that we will be hearing that radio again when it gets to its final destination, because the operators at that location really know how to play the ionosphere, and they've already done it once. So it'll be curious to hear if that radio makes it in on a future check-in. Back to you. We will head on. Let's see who's next. Paul will be coming up next, but I want to get another transmission. Oh, and you know what? When you go to the next transmission, I will also do a frequency check here as well.
Okay. Check the meter here. Okay. I have 084.8 bouncing to 084.9.
And my sideband zero beated you at 27084.75 to 8. So yeah, like about, oops, am I still on? About to dot 7.8.
All righty. Being that this is plug-in synthesized crystals, I'm not going to mess with trying to get it 085.0. I think it's close enough.
Oh no, it's plenty close enough. For AM, it is right there. Over.
Roger. Okay. Hopefully they stayed up late enough to hear it, and that they're in another state. Anyway, there we go. I'm going to check in a few more tonight, but that'll be it for this one.
All right, very good. No, they're listening. In fact, Chrissy is up on the video. I think she's actually in the Echo link, which I will open up a little bit later. I want to get all the radios checked in because we were running late, and I know they're staying up late. It's an hour later in Idaho, but it sounds good. And like I said, I have high hopes that we'll be hearing it yet again. It works well without the range boost on the radio. With the range boost on the radio, again, tailored to your microphone. It also seems to work well in front of other items of interest. Radio number 3 is the Robin T123 Bravo, at least here visiting Central California, where it is quite happy, but I'm sure it will be even happier when it gets to its final destination. Thanks for bringing it by.
You betcha. Oh, there I do my North Dakota stuff there. Anyway, yeah, I went through all the channels. I hadn't done that before. And there's a dead crystal, so I've got to go to my crystal storage area and get a crystal. So that way I'll be working. But the important one is working right now. Okay, I'll turn it back to you, and I'll be firing another one up after a while.
All right, beautiful. Thank you for radio number 3 on the Old Tube Radio Network. I will keep it moving here. I apologize for running behind, and I appreciate everybody taking the extra time and staying up late, whether you're listening or transmitting. Paul, SWL45, I know you are having some noise up there, and earlier it sounded like the skip was going to come in, and that sort of seems clear down here now. I wonder if you can still hear net control. Hello, Paul, 45, over.
Okay. Well,
it's just about, I can't hear Harvey hardly at all, and Chris, I couldn't hear him, or Chris that is, at first. I guess that's who it was. So you sounded good, and of course the old workhorse of the other General Radio Telephone 9, as you know who that was, he was loud. So I'm having pretty halfway working the radio. This is my Lafayette Comstat 35.
All right, let's get the Lafayette in there, Comstat 35. We are getting a great combination of radios tonight. I am finding the photo version. Oh yeah, that is Bozo Control's favorite radio because it has the radio proboscis there. Okay, got a shot. Back to you for transmission. Over.
Yeah, mine's got that pretty nose on the thing, kind of an orange-red nose on it. I don't know what the idea was, but it's kind of different. Anyway, this radio was manufactured in Korea by Panasonic. They usually made the ones in Japan, Panasonic, but this is made in Korea. They did a fine job on it. So this has 11 tubes, 23 crystal control channels on the thing. Pretty good sized radio. I call it a little workhorse. It always worked good for us. So far, working good for me. Back to you.
I want to say the Panasonic chassis were well done, where they didn't have a lot of, oops, we forgot to solder something on back to the factory. And Mitch knows them well. There was maybe 4 versions. This particular one is probably a version 2 or a version 3, I think, on the Panasonic chassis. So it's either a different... And the Robin T123 was also one, so this may be in that mode. I think I could be totally misspeaking here. Audio is good. You said you're receiving me okay. Take another transmission. I will put up the S meter along with the radio. So if you're watching the video, you can give yourself a radio check. Back to you.
Okay. Well, it's starting to get real bad out there now. So what might be the last video tonight on the thing, but. Anyways, it got a range boost on the thing. I'd like to turn it off. I don't know whether it'll work on this thing because I had a different microphone. I couldn't find the one that went with this thing. So I put on a Turner Plus 3. I'll kick the range boost on and off. It seems to drop. Oh, it drops way down. I put it back up. It goes back up. Oh, yeah, pretty good. So I think I got it pretty close. Back to you.
Wow, yeah, went way down. You went from your nice 100% modulation to way down. So it looks like the radio is set up for either a very loud talker or you need to have an amplified microphonium at some point. I'm going to say a standard microphone probably wouldn't even be heard without the range boost. Radio number 4, the Lafayette Comstat 35. Good signal and good audio. You will, if you listen to the playback, I'm sure you'll be very pleased with your radio tonight. Over.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I'm anxious to hear it back. Yeah, I think if I could hear the other guys too when I get through the playback. So I'll always get a chance to hear Harvey and Chris. It comes through my iPad. I see that real good. So that's one bonus on having it. That's great you got it, Dennis. And thanks for checking everything in. And I might not be back tonight. But anyway, I might be. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And all right, 23 Skidoo has found the history files. Comstat 35A is the second generation Panasonic chassis, 1974 vintage with 11 tubes, and they're all working just great. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
The Old Tube Radio Network. I forgot to talk about our radio sponsor tonight, and who is next? Joe. Thank you for being patient. SWL60. Joe, step up in the air chair, and I will be right with you. Tonight's sponsor, Rogers TV at 216 North 14th in Bismarck, North Dakota. Is the close-up cam working tonight? Where is it? There it is. There's the close-up cam on Rogers to Sylvania, Rogers TV for the old pocket protector tonight. Sounding good. All right, Joe. Hello, 60. Are you there? Over.
Thank you, Dennis, and we are here with our Johnson Messenger 10-2. I think that's 223. Standing by.
We're getting the CB standards from the Lafayette, sold a ton of radios and all good, to probably one of the only manufacturers that could probably best what they were doing, and that would be E.F. Johnson, because they were also in the electronics business. Lafayette's making all sorts of electronic things. They had receivers and other things. E.F. Johnson, same way, just coming out of the amateur radio field with some huge big iron, what we call boat anchors, toned it down from the Messenger 223, and they had a winner. Back to you for a transmission as we put up the Messenger picture.
Thank you much on that. I've been sitting back here listening to the last 5 radios. There are 4 radios, and I am really enjoying the reception and the way this radio works. There's not much to it. You look in the backside of it, there's not much to it. But one pleasurable radio to listen to, all you have to do is turn the volume on, and that's the squelch. It's got a beautiful light up on the front there. No problem seeing the meter. No problem with the channel selector. And I think that this radio was a beautiful family radio, one that you could turn on. Its clarity and reception, you can't beat it.
I would agree. I'm not sure in the scheme of things these days where radios are for sale, whether it's eBay or some other form, the way eBay is today. I hate to recommend that for anything, but if someone is looking for a first radio, it's like, I want to get into the old tube radio thing. This really would be like the top 3 to look for. Yeah, everybody wants an everybody wants a Browning, and everybody wants a Tram. Everybody wants a Demco. They want a Buddy. But in reality, you have multiple pieces. You have lots of things that can go wrong. A lot of them have been modified. They're hard to ship. Here is a radio that proved itself as the Messenger at 5 channels, and then proved itself as the Messenger 2 with, 8, 10, 12 channels, and then reproved itself when E.F. Johnson said, we need to make a base. We're going to take this very simple transmitter and receiver that works well. We're going to add 23 channels. We're going to add an S meter. Like you said, put it in a base station configuration, because you're not going to take it mobile. You're not going to have to worry about extra cables. We're going to give you a squelch, a volume, channel selector, light the thing up, put the speaker in the front, and make it work. And you are proving that they indeed did a good job of that. Of course, they knew what they were doing to begin with. So you're looking for a first radio, try and find one of these. And like I said, Joe will definitely give us a 10-4 on that.
Oh, that's a big 10-4. Dennis, doggone it, I've been very happy with it. It's a pleasure listening to it. I hate to actually turn it off and get another radio going, because you all sound so good on it. And I hope it continues to do what it's doing on this stock mic, original stock mic with this radio. Thanks, Dennis.
Yep, works well. The radio will take amplified microphones, but as you can hear, if you don't amplify, and there's no range boost on this radio. It's sort of built to work with just about everything you can put into it. So a good deal. Our 5th radio tonight at 9:50, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. The jingle singers say we at least have to ID once, right, before we get out of here. So over to the Studio B. The limo is pulling back. It looks like they got one more. They're holding up the one finger. So one more ride on the limousine if you're looking for that. There is still activities up in the balcony. I can smell the popcorn. I'm going up there after the net tonight. I'm going up to the balcony and get some popcorn and maybe sign up for that for the Wednesday night festivities coming up. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are looking for Radio 6. Are there more radios out there that would like to check in the Old Tube Radio Network?
SWL 17.
All right, as advertised on the Old Tube Radio Network, SWL 17 mentioned that he might be back with a radio item of interest, and indeed he is. Hello, Eric. How are things going over in your neck of the woods? Over.
Well, I got rid of whatever that odd ping was going on there to begin with on check-in. Actually, I had the ABC on just a pinch, and a little bit of the A&L. So I think those affected the ping.
It could have. It was interesting. It's been recorded. You can hear it on the playback. We had everyone saying it was Martian. Somebody said it sounded like an elephant, and I agree. It was interesting.
I was listening to it wondering, what is that? Anyway, I'm glad it's back to its normal Eagle Scream, the R27 S23 from Browning.
Right, so that's the first Browning, yeah. First two-piece radio. Here's another good, if you want to step up from the E.F. Johnson, the Lafayette, here's a Browning that everybody likes that may, I guess, budget-wise, might be a little easier than like the Mark III or the Mark II. The original Eagle, the R27 S23. A lot of stations that run Eagles really like this. They say, this is, out of all the Eagles, it's their favorite. Easy to do, and it has the Eagle sound, as you can hear when Eric takes a transmission. Back to you.
Thanks, Dennis. It's always fun to fly the Eagle around the block. Thanks for checking this radio in.
Okay, and before you go, we've got a picture. We're showing the extra 180 amp, but typically if you're buying your first radio, you wouldn't get the amplifier. So as an operator, for those who may not have worked an Eagle before or thinking about getting that, as an operator, you set down to the radio, and you've got what is like what do you call it, the elevator pitch, the 25 words or less, what you have to do to get ready to go. I know there's you got to turn on the radio, you got to turn the transmitter, the receiver, and you got to line them up somehow. If you can give us just a quick, as an operator, what you do to get ready to take a transmission.
Well, there's a couple of auxiliary connivings that you can reach with a screwdriver. But anyway, basically adjusting the plate and load on the a business radio amplification device, and make sure you got happy out and happy end of the radio.
Okay, so you do have to turn on two pieces. You got to turn the transmitter on, the receiver on. You let them warm up. And do you go ahead and do the spot thing, or are you pretty much, if you've got 23s, or channel 11 in the transmit dial, and on the receive dial, does it actually give you channel 11, or does it say 27085?
Okay, yeah. From that aspect, of course, there's. Right next to channel 11 is RC, and then there's 12. But that's on the left side. Right side is the 27085 designation for where we are. The transmitters just got the big old on-the-air light and a channel 11 lit up nice and bright. And as you speak, the audio lamp and the meter goes up it goes up to 100%.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Running Brownings, I never like to turn if it's got a mod selection on the meter. I hate to do that because it just seems like it will damage the meter somehow. All right, well, not too bad. So if you're looking for a first radio, there's only one connection between the two, your antenna connection on the probably on the transmitter side, and little spot switching, and away you go. So don't be afraid of this one either. Radio number 6, the Eagle, the first Browning radio to use the moniker Eagle, and somewhere, let me get the close-up. If you're looking at the video on the transmitter, there is a silhouette between the on-air light and the tuning knob of an eagle. And so starts the tradition. Thanks for bringing it by.
And that, I'm assuming it's painted for, back in the day, everything, was painted, not just stenciled on. Anyway, the Eagle is looking to the tuning knob for the channel selector.
Yeah, they changed the knobs. If you're a collector, sometimes you really want to have the right knobs. I know that old Zenith radio people will spend big bucks to get that just perfect round knob that goes with the 5S7623X. Because you don't want the 57623Y knob on your Zenith. Thanks for our Radio 6, and what time is it? Gosh, it's 10 o'clock. But keep going. If we've got Radio 7, we'll take it before we sign out of here. Also, let me see. Echolink is up. Let me pull up the... Also, let me see. Oh, that's me. Echolink is up. It's weird hearing myself talk to myself here, so that's easily fixed by doing this. Who's out on Echolink? I see Richard. I don't know if Chrissy is there. KA6JMM. Richard, are you listening? KV6GFD on the Echolink.
20.
Yes, I'm listening. A bit of a delay. Good evening.
Yeah, I forget that if you're listening on the other one, I sort of have to pre-tease that I'm going to the Echolink probably like 15 seconds before I actually do. But I saw your call there. I just wanted to, update our listeners. You are, what is it, the 40-meter net that happens, the swap net. What is the frequency for that? And maybe just, 25 words or less, some particulars on that for those of us here. And I'm assuming it'll probably be a West Coast, Western States things, but anybody that wants to tune into that 40-meter item, over.
Okay, very good. KV6GFD, KA6JMM out here in Wildomar, California. Okay, what it is, it's the amateur radio swap net on 7235, 7.235 megahertz, lower sideband. And it starts about 9 to 10 o'clock with rag chew and discussions until 11:30 when the net actually starts, taken over by net control. And you log in, and you get to say your piece again if there's something you want to say. And after the comments are done, then they read the list of items that are listed in the SwapNet list. And Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, they take listings, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are just rag chew with a reading of the list. Over.
All right, good. That's what I've heard before. The conditions have been getting better. And for those of you who are amateur radio operators or thinking about it, right? Cycle 25's coming up. If you're thinking about it, you should do it. Get that ticket. The SwapNet is actually a good place. eBay sometimes can get, you don't know who you're dealing with the SwapNet. You're dealing with hams. A lot of times, if you're just starting out, a ham radio operator wants to see their equipment go to somebody that will use it and not resell it. And maybe if you're just starting, they really want to see things on the air. So a good spot to check out equipment And like Richard said, just have a little bit of rag too. All right. Thanks, Richard, for the information there on the swap. Now, I've heard you a couple times. I'm getting my 40-meter vertical up and running. I think I would do better with an NVIS antenna for the net, but I'll be working on that. Thanks for the information. Looking good. We've got you checked in, and hope to chat with you on some local stuff. Thanks for the update. Sounding good on Echolink. KB6GFD.
20.
47.
Okay, let's go back to the radios. Talking to Richard, that's SWL78. He is down in Southern California. And he works the 40-meter morning weekday swap and rag chew. Radio 7, step up into the air chair, Harvey. And Radio 8, we will reserve for Mike, SWL 47. Hello to the west side from Midtown. Over.
Hello, Midtown. Okay. Number 20 on a General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. This is mine. Anyway, I just thought I would key it up tonight. This son of a gun gets really hot. People say their 123B Robins get hot. Well, I found one that gets hotter. Anyway, because this room with both these radios is hot. It's Africa hot. Anyway, this is the radio by itself, and if Paul is listening up in the hills, this is for Paul, so he can hear me on my General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, and then I'll turn the range boost off.
Nice. Boy, super smooth audio. Looks really good on the meter. Nice resting carrier and some good forward movement on the meter when you talk. The Harvey range boost doesn't add any distortion. And another super MC11A. So if Paul is out there, hopefully he heard you, and you are getting some thumbs up on from the SWL listeners. Over to you for another transmission, then we'll pick up Mike. I want to go back to the Echolink for a little bit for a quick one too, since it's getting late. So good to hear the General Radio Telephone. I enjoyed that.
Okay, I've got the stock big rounder mic, not the smaller plastic mic, but this one's the General CSM mic. It's got the little ID tag in the middle and is just about pristine. I like this radio. This one's going to be a keeper. Okay, I'll stand by, and then I think I have another one that I'll do after Mike.
All right, perfect. Super smooth audio. I wanted to go quickly back to the Echolink. I see that Chrissy is there listening. So, Chrissy, I don't know what your delay is on the big screen here, but we'll go back to the control room quickly if I click on the right thing here, and we will check out the Echolink KF7FTI. Are you there, Chrissy, on the Echolink from KB6GFD? Just for a quick chat here. Over. Hi, are you there, Chrissy, on the Echolink from KB6GFD? Just for a quick chat here. Over.
Yes, Dennis. I'm here with my dog and my husband. We're doing great. And on top of that, we are on the same time zone as you. And on top of that, we are on the same time zone as you. And
right.
It's been a rainy day here, but we're doing good, staying dry.
All right, good deal. It's going to be a bit of a delay. I know it gets confusing. but I'll talk to you directly on the Echo link, so you may have to turn the radio down a little bit. But just a quick thing. All right, I wanted to say hi, and I saw you were out there. And like I said before, I tried the tater tot recipe, and the recipe card is up in the kitchen now and looking good. So it just means I need to buy more eggs and those Trader Joe's tater tots. All right, I have to look at my Idaho map. I think I have a friend that is in or near Boise, and you know what? There's an hour different, but we changed. That's what happened. I think we changed an hour of daylight saving time, but you might not. So that puts us all together. All right, thanks for picking up my call here on Echolink. You're sounding good. Always enjoy your comments on the video side. And from what I understand, there may be a new or another radio heading your way up to the station there, and we're hoping to hear it on the air when the skip is in. Thanks for joining us on Echolink tonight. 73 to you from KB6G, FD over.
'73s, and I'm glad you're enjoying that recipe. It's one of our favorites here.
It is good. It was. It's archived on 3 weeks ago on the scroll down side sections on the video. Going over to radio number 8. I guess you're still out in the radio lounge there, Mike. I know I can feel the nice cool air coming through the window here, so it's cooling down. Hello, 47.
Oh my gosh, there's so many fun things to talk about. I'll start with maybe the most relevant item of interest here. My radio that I'm speaking on right now that just happens to be glowing in the dark right now, thanks to, oh my goodness, you're going to have to help me out with this. 11 tubes? I'm not sure. Well, what I am sure of, it's the Robin T123 with, goodness gracious, this feature here, the Magic Eye tube, it never gets old even after all these years. I think it's, a 6ME5. Oh, wait a minute, actually that's not right. Maybe it's the 6RE13. I think that's what it is. Now you're going to have to help me out on the tube count and the Magic Eye tube. What you don't have to help me out on is enjoying this thing, because it's never failed me. It's always dependable, fun to use on the road or in the radio lounge or patio, and just overall awesome radio to use.
20.
And 20, we got you on the list. I believe it is the 6RE13, where we are looking into the side of the tube as the top and the bottom lighter colors in the tube come together as more audio happens. The audio is sounding good. That radio is always a nice, smooth-sounding audio, and I know you are not a loud talker, so however you have that adjusted, it's perfect for your voice. It seems like you're out in front. You're out in front of the class, doing what you do best, not shouting at anybody. It's perfect.
Oh, good. I used to use this radio a lot outside. Probably more often than not on the radio patio, but I did use it in various locations in the backyard. And you're correct, especially at this hour of night. I was pretty hesitant to really scream into the microphone. It's fun to use. I do have the amplified D104 mic, which is really helpful, especially now that at least I think everyone's in their bedrooms or if not asleep. So I don't have to really scream into the microphone to get everything going here. But I did almost use it outside. Unfortunately, I've got an extra hobby here of collecting old Coleman lamps, and those things actually did used to provide me with a lot of heat when I was outside using this particular radio. But we don't have to use those lamps right now in the radio lounge.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad we got into the radio lounge tonight. Sometimes you get a reservation and you have to wait your turn, but it is good. Anyway, it's a perfect sound. There was I'm going to have to listen to the replay. There was a strange thing. It sounded like a jet ran through. I don't know if that was the radio, if it was something coming through on frequency. I will listen to the replay. And then it just sort of went away. It was the radio just saying, stretching. Like it just got up in the morning, does that big stretch. Anyway, it's it's sounding perfect now. Info from the 23 Skidoo history file, and then we'll go back to you, and I'm going to pick up Harvey since it's getting late. It says, did you know that the T-123 has a twin? The original Cardone Spitfire is the same radio. And these may be using the early Panasonic chassis design, but more research is needed to prove that. Whatever it's using, it sounds good. Over.
Well, that's funny when you use the name Spitfire and Japanese chassis in the same sentence. That's actually kind of fun to think about that. It's almost a contradiction in terms, but for what it's worth, this radio, again, like I said, it's great to use no matter where you're using it. I don't know how many radios were really designed for use. I'm assuming this guy was basically designed to use in your home with AC operation. But I've always been fascinated that with just an extra power cord, which of course is wired specifically for this radio. But it's always been very curious to me that with just an extra power cord, you can mount this in an automobile and drive around using it. I'm assuming that this particular radio was sold along with its mobile mounting bracket. I don't have that for this particular radio. I do for my other Robin, but not this one. But I think that's just great, man. That's how smart is that? That someone would basically design the radio to use, in at least a couple different configurations. So I'm sorry it's not in the DC mode right now, or at least on the road, but it's still fun to use nonetheless. And on that, I think I'm going to send it back to you, sir.
Okay. It says 12-volt DC, 115-volt AC, Sam's CB35. In the books, 35, page 95, 11-tube, 2 transistors. Probably the 2 transistors are doing something for that DC conversion. Sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by our one and only Magic iTube radio tonight. And green is always good with our listeners. Let me head over to at 10:18. I heard Harvey break. Are you still there, Harvey? Over.
I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead with your item of interest.
Roger. It's the R27S23. I believe it's Mike's radio has 11 tubes. 11. This is the one I finally cleaned up the microphone, and this is the best sounding receiver, I think, out of all the Brownings I have. I have to check that. Now, as number 17, Eric mentioned, it's got the A&L and the ABC switches. So you pull out one or both, and you really can clean up some audio, make it sound better. And I believe it's the only Browning receiver with both of them. I'm kind of thinking about that. I might be wrong, but this one has both, the ABC and the A&L, and I just love it. But more importantly than anything tonight, and I hope Dwayne in Idaho is still listening. Please be listening. Please be listening. When you talked to Chrissy and she keyed up, she said she was there with the dog and then her husband. She mentioned the dog first. I just love it.
You know, I heard that, but I didn't make a comment because, well, what could I say? What could I say that hadn't already been said there? And the radio. But that is family radio night. The significant other, the creature, whatever it might be, whether it's a dog, cat, parakeet, guinea pig, hamster, whatever, and the radio. That is basically what we're trying to recreate here on the Old Tube Radio Network, the way it was. And we're doing a good job, thanks to everybody. Your radio's looking good. I brought up an R2700, or the R27 receiver as you were talking about it, and I see that it actually lists on the dial. Is it a channel and a frequency on one side and the other? That's what they're doing, right?
Roger. The channel number is on the left and the frequency is on the right.
And that is a VFO style, so it doesn't click in. So anybody who's not familiar with the Browning radio on the receiver, that knob is continuous tuning. It's like your broadcast AM radio. So you got to dial it in, look for your number 11-27085. And if you don't spot it, if you don't put the spot switch on with the crystal control transmitter and then peak your S meter, then it's up to you as the operator to dial that in when someone's talking and make them sound the best. The good thing about that is you can actually tune them off a little bit. You can listen to their upper or lower sideband, especially if you're hearing, or the way you like the speaker, you want it to sound a little bit more bright, you can tune off to one of the sidebands. That's what's cool about that radio. It really gives you some flexibility that way. And then, as Harvey mentioned, it's got some other controls, receive controls, RF gains and AVCs, and things that help other aspects of the receive. So a top-notch receiver. I know some people that use this as a receiver for some other radio, would use a different transmitter, but still have the Browning receiver. So you can't go wrong. It's an SWL, even if you're just listening. Harvey, you are Radio 9 with the R27 S23. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Roger, thank you. Yeah, I really like this one. And this one was really, really used a lot. This was almost a 24/7 radio. I would say the prior owner ran it a good 12 to maybe 18 hours a day when he had it. So the fact that it's still going, I'm happy. Okay, we'll see if there's someone else. If not, maybe I'll do one more.
All right. And Chrissy was listening. Dwayne is listening. So some good comments. I didn't know you had a parakeet. Talking to Chrissy, but I don't think I've ever mentioned this. Maybe I have. Back when I started my CB radio career back in high school, I had a canary. I had a canary in my room. So that was my handle, because occasionally you would hear the canary doing its canary thing behind me on the microphone. So I admit, I didn't have a parakeet. I had a canary. So it just seemed natural to have something else going on. The Old Tube Radio Network, the jingle singers would like to get out of here, but we've got some more radios, but they need to do, what is it they need to do? They need to do their regular, the one you do at the end. They're all putting their hands in there like, what's he talking about? The thing you do at the end, the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
All right, I'm counting and mounting. If there's a Radio 10, we'll pick it up here before we get out. The Old Tube Radio Network.
just real quick for Radio 10, how about just a very fast Robin 123B?
I think that is a good choice. The Robins are, I want to get a picture because they're just good-looking radios. The designers did a good job. The color schemes are always perfect. We have a shot. Where is it here? Yeah, there's for those watching, they're seeing the video. There's the Robin, the T123B, the green machine with the green inserts on the knob and the box that goes with it. Give us a transmission to go with everything else for Radio 10, over.
Okay, well, first of all, I'll say that comment about the green inserts on the knob. That's a very cool thing to notice on this radio, and you know, I had to stop and look up at my other Robin real quick to make sure that its knobs were not colored, and of course they're not. So that's true. This one doesn't have any magic eyes. Again, and unfortunately, I think we only had one magic eye for this evening. But I do have to say I think it's a blue light that lights up whenever I transmit. It's not the modulation lamp, which incidentally is just barely working, probably in large part to do the unamplified mic I'm using right now, an unamplified stock mic, as a matter of fact. But the blue light, the blue transmit light, I gotta say this thing is pretty appealing. There is a light underneath that guy. What is that? Oh, that's the receive light. Okay. I don't know what color that is. So, to make a long story short, you're not getting any cool Nixie tubes or magic eye tubes on this guy, but I guess the neon bulbs or whatever they are, they're still pretty appealing. Not super hyperactive, but still pleasing to look at. And I think I'm going to unkey and look at that nice receive lamp.
Okay, and I got a close-up I can put up here. And then I'll zoom in, and then we'll go to you. And the stack of lights, the top, in the 3-stack, the top is external speaker. It looks like it's amber. Then there's the mod, and I don't know. Looks like it could be red. And then the PA light, which could be white or yellow. That's the bottom one. Then the TX, RX. Of course, the RX is green, and I'm assuming, and like I said, for you, it may just be they both come on, but the top would be red and the bottom would be green on those two. So that's the deal. But as long as you know where they are and what they do, and if they're supposed to blink when you're blinking, when you're talking, then they're good.
Okay, yeah, those are good points that you're making. Well, first and foremost, and I almost mentioned this about the other Robin, there's a term that's kind of tossed around these days, set and forget. I almost hesitate in saying that about these two Robin radios, but, they are kind of set and forget radios, just as long as you have it on channel 11, you're good to go. I guess on this particular radio, you could accidentally tag that external speaker button, and without one in, you might cause yourself issues, or maybe even the PA button. But no, I think for generally speaking, you don't have to really pay attention to what's going on here. I did, while you just keyed up, I did tag my external speaker button, which of course is on the far right-hand side of the radio to the right of the speaker, and it did light up. It's really, 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 really super weak. It was functioning, but really dim. So I don't know. I've never tried this with an external speaker. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll try and plug something in there and see what happens. It's funny you said the PA lamp, it might have looked white or green or something like that. To my eye, I tagged that as well when you were keying up a moment ago, and it's kind of both.
it definitely lit up. You didn't have to use your imagination to kind of tell if that thing was functioning or not. But that's cool. You know, a long time ago, there was someone that sat down and thought, well, you know, I wonder what color I want this transmit light, you know, to be, or what color I want the receive light, or the external speaker, or the modulation, or the PA. You know, that's cool. It's kind of, I guess it's backward scaffolding. You know, it's kind of fun to look at these things and kind of try and envision what was going on in their minds back then.
I agree. I was just checking the studio here, see if anybody's still in at 10:30. They are over in the green room having fun. We've got Mike in the radio cabana with his radio. We've got SWLs at oldtuberadio.com. And listeners over on the video side, who was it? Levon says, he's going the distance. You and me both, buddy. We're going to make it here tonight before we sign off. And the equipment, I don't smell any smoke. The equipment is actually working well tonight, too. So, Mike, you are Radio 10. You got us in the double digits, so I think we've made our goal tonight. Over.
Well, that wasn't me, but maybe there's someone else that wants to chat. So, again, I said it earlier this evening. I say quite often, you know, thanks so much for giving us the opportunity to play with these just delightful toys. And it's great hearing everyone else as well. So, on that, I think I'll send it back to you. I'll still be monitoring those. So, 73 all.
All right, 73 to you. That's still a lot of people hanging in with us tonight. Was that an indication that we have a Radio 11 for a hit and run? Go ahead, 20.
Yeah, hit and run. That's me. Hit and run. Okay, the Browning R68 T68 Golden Beagle by Browning Laboratories with the custom D104 with the medallion on the back of the head of the D104. Anyway, this one's been on all day, so I figured it deserved to be checked in. So we'll do that, and then we'll catch you guys next week.
Okay, Browning Golden Eagle. See, we communicate. We don't have to speak. I can just hear the radio key up or a ping or an off-frequency thing, and I know what's supposed to happen. So maybe I am learning something here. It's sounding good, the R68, T68. Good work on your P&T on the Robin T123B. And like I said, I really think in the next, months, years, we will be hearing that radio again coming from its new home, beaconing over the air. I'm sure they will have a lot of fun with that. So thanks, Harvey.
Okie dokie. You bet. We'll catch you next week. Hello, Mike. And there was a mentioning of a clone of the Robin T123 was a Cardone Spitfire, I would say the Canadian type version. And I believe there are one or two other versions also. I'm going to check and see. I'll know more next week. Okay, catch y'all later.
All right, and thank you for that. All right, there's the skinny. TX is blue, RX is green. Oh, the TX is blue. All right. We're listening, Mike. Transmit is blue, receive is green, external speaker gold, modulation red, and PA is white. So that's from the 23 Skidoo files. That's a lot of lights. And the Robins on those Robin radios, I think they paid extra to Panasonic, said, whatever you got, we want it on the front panel only for our radios. Everybody else can have 4 lights. We'll take 5. Give us the external meters and everything else. I just wonder price-wise if you actually paid a little bit more for the Robin than you did for like the T-Berry version of that, which I don't think hasn't had as much stuff. Any other items before we do the counting and mounting tonight here on OTR? Over.
60, Dennis.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Over.
Yeah, real quick, like there, we'll check in our Robin T123B, and of course, with all the goodies. Yeah, you guys are talking about the lights, of course. The modulation light right now is flashing, and the text light is blue, and the RX light, and the buttons, the external buttons, I have them black, and the PA light is white. So the amber is the external speaker, which I have put on before to show that it works. And doggone it, I'm very pleased with this radio. It's also modified. It does about 39 channels, and I'm operated on a D104 power mic. Back to you, Dennis.
Well, you've got that tuned up perfectly for AM audio. Just perfectly clear, no fuzziness in the audio. It sounds like I'm standing right in the room to you. Whatever's going on in the background is just barely there. Then no echo off the room. Just goes to show you that AM is just such a great mode. Sideband is great too, but that extra 6 kilohertz wide on AM not only makes things sound great, but I really think it brings out more of the personality of the operator. It really gives you a clear sound, a clear voice. So doing a good job. And you will be very interested in your Radio 12 check-in tonight and what it's done on the scheme of things. Back to you for transmission, and then we will get out of here and count them out.
Okay, Dennis. Yeah. Also has a volume and a squelch that pulls for your tone, and you can push it in and it goes back regular, fine-tune, RF gain, and a couple of external, they're little bitty switches, micro switches to operate, I guess you would call the funny channels, being it's a 23. But other than that, Dennis, we appreciate you let us check it in.
Hey, it is my pleasure. I'm just the guy that sits here in the air chair. And as we mentioned before, for as many of us that have done the net control here, if we didn't have the tube radio operators, we would not have been here all these 35 years. For people who want to end up staying up late, take time out of their Saturday evening, whatever they do, and come in and share the radios. And that's basically what would happen when this radio was brand new. 40 years ago, when there was no telephones and internet and computer screens to distract you, you would be out on the radio. Radio 12, the Robin T123B. Thanks for bringing it here tonight. And Mitch, the TRC-X23A, I think we checked that in a couple of weeks ago. Paul has one of those. I will keep that in mind when he brings that up with the TRC. Mitch has a lot of good stuff. He's working on a compendium of radio items, tidbits, history. It'll be very interesting when that gets together. And we are the benefactors of that. So when Mitch is online to give us the things that you just don't know, that you can't tell by looking at the radio, but are pretty cool, like that. And Paul, you are right. That someone looking for a radio, the Panasonic chassis. We talked about the E.F. Johnson's being a good first radio. Any of the Panasonic chassis, the Robins or the T-Berry, I think these are all high-level, plate-modulated radios, and they all do well. I mean, this is the 21st century, and you see how many of them are 40 years, 50 years, and still going strong. Counting and mounting, be right back. This is the basic Dennis, over.
Robin T123 semi-trivia. On eBay, right now, or at least a couple hours ago, there were 2 Robin T123Bs, but they said Apollo 23 channel citizens band transceiver, and down below in the front, Apollo T123B. On the back of one of them, at least, I remember the lower left, where the little metal plate is with the serial number and Robin T123B and all, that's been removed from at least one of them. Anyway, in one of the ads or listings, it says, I believe this is a Robin T123B. If you peel the sticker a bit, you could see Robin underneath. So somebody changed it.
Wow, an Apollo in Robin's clothing. I was thinking, is that some, Australian brand or Canadian thing? Although they have their special one there. I wonder why they did that. Maybe it's an Apollo thing. All right, I'll have to check that. And that's up on eBay right now, you say?
Yeah, I found 2 of them on there yesterday. And I believe I looked today also, but I'm not sure. I'm getting old, I forget. Anyway, it was at least yesterday there were 2 of them.
What can I say? This is the getting old, I forget frequency. With that, we're going to switch over to, let's do the REMA meter, and Mr. Announcer is up at the microphone doing what he'll do best.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
Current and final totals of the Old Tube Radio Network tonight for this chapter of April 24th, 2021. I will try to go quickly through the list here tonight. We had 12 check-ins on SWL check-ins on 1, page 116 on page 215 on page 3, and 22 on page 4, for a total of, looks like 65. And radios tonight we had 12. I wish I should have a scoreboard up. I didn't say anything. I let nature take its course, but we were jogging between the most heard manufacturer, between the Brownings and then the Robins and then the Brownings. General Radio Telephones were in there for a while at the beginning. And then Joe came in with the Robin T123B and put the Robins over the top with 4 tonight. So most manufacturer, the Robins tonight, beating out the Brownings that had 3. Started off with the General Radio Telephone, total number of tubes, 136, plus or minus my error. So over 100 tubes tonight. General Radio Telephone started off, Chris, on his Super MC11A. The Hammerland HQ205, the none such radio, but yeah, they're out there. Great audio. It just has that roar of really nice AM bass quality. And Cliff does a good job of bringing that up to us a couple times a year. I've never seen another one, never heard another one. We maybe have the only one here in the Central Valley. The Robin T123B from Harvey on the workbench, actually off the workbench. It's ready to go. It's got the ribbons. It's dusted off, it's polished off, and it's going to be on its way to its new QTH. And again, I bet we're going to hear that radio again. Sounding good. Nice job on that, Harvey. It's, and like I said, from what I heard this afternoon, you added that extra little tweak, that extra little thing in the audio, and it's perfect. Radio number 4, the Lafayette Comstat 35. That was from Paul. Thanks for getting in there, Paul. I know it's rough on the noise tonight. I always appreciate radios from your massive collection. Paul's got enough radios that if he checked in one every 5 minutes, we could probably go all week into the next session of OTR and not get through all of them. Radio number 5, Joe on the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, always sounding good. Eric came by with the Eagle R27 S23 from Browning Laboratories. That was Radio 6. Radio 7, Harvey had the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. I think he said that was staying in the shack. We're going to hear more of that on the Super MC11A. Hope so. Just a smooth radio. Radio number 8, the Robin T123. That's with the Magic Eye. Mike putting the Robin in on the mix tonight. Followed by Harvey with the R27 S23 Browning Eagle. And then the Eagles were the most heard radio. And then Mike came in with the Browning, or with the R27. I'm sorry, Mike came in with the Robin T123B, Radio 10. The Robins were back in the lead. Then Harvey came in with the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 for Radio 11, and the Brownings were back in the lead. And then Joe came in with the Robin T123B and the Robin's most heard manufactured this evening on your old tube radio network. 73 to everybody. Thanks to 23 Skidoo and the Echo Link. Good to hear the stations checking in. Thanks for putting that up. Thanks to those of you listening in. As always, this is not a club. It's not an association that you have to pay dues. It is a voluntary gathering of people from everywhere that enjoy the sound of the tube radios and want to think, what was it like back in 1962 when those tube radios fired up? And our radio operators have helped us realize what that would be like. 73, everybody. Thanks to searchlawrence.com for the Nixie tubes. And we will be back next week. Audio is archived at oldtuberadio.net on the audio side, and the videos stay up. I don't know why. I don't know why YouTube just doesn't pull them down, but they don't. So you can watch things back. Give yourself a radio check. Good night, everybody. 700 Weed Killer out there tonight saying, have a great week, and I agree with that. It is going to be a great week. Good night from the Old Tube Radio Network.
Next, Dennis. Bunch of fun.
All right, Joe, you put the Robins over the top.
Yeah, I heard that. Boy, that made me jump up.
You know, I always like it when that happens with the Robins. I know they're not everyone's favorite, but it always puts a smile on my face. So thank you, sir, for doing that for Team Robin.
You are more than welcome.
And there's the famous WA1HLR, the Timtron 3885 from Skowhegan. Coming into the West Coast, calling CQ on AM. You gotta love it. Good night, everybody.